What is up, guys? Zach here from the Chaos Galaxy, but today I'm going to be going through some more old TCG stories, where if you know me, you'll know I've been making trading cards since I was about 10 years old, and this is sort of showing you the journey through these cards as I've grown up and improved at making trading card games all the way into the current Chaos Galaxy. And going through a bit of the inspiration and the stories behind some of the cards too. Should be zooming out for this. So we had set 1 and we only got up to like Tonex in episode 1. If you haven't seen episode 1, there'll be a link in the description, but I'll just continue with these set 1 cards for now. So the next card, not the most exciting one in the game, but we have Jet Punch, which has only been in one of my old TCGs so far, which is elementals in the form of Jet Fist, a flying fist that can smash through enemies. Its attack really packs a punch. Well, I was a comedy genius when I was 11 years old. We've then got Cloudicorn, which was only in one other trading card game I've made, which was Evolver's TCG. It was part of the Golden Stallion Evolver range, which unfortunately I've lost. I've lost most of the ones, but stage 1 was Cloudicorn, and then they evolved into these like more powerful unicorn characters. Supersonic Duocorn, he's got 2 horns. This was stage 4, and then the stage 5 one was like a sort of rainbow unicorn with wings. It was cool. I'll try and find a picture of it. I probably have something somewhere, but couldn't find the card for this video, unfortunately. We then have Kronk, which I think is one of the most fun looking cards in the game. I think he's got a lot of personality. So I actually made an Elite Kronk. And this was because back in some of my older games, there were many stages of Kronk. Little dudes. There was Kronk 1, which evolved into Kronk 2. And then finally into Kronk 3, which I actually think looks really cool. So this is kind of like Kronk and Elite Kronk there. And Kronk, well, I could make it like a Kronk baby in the Chaos Galaxy. But there's also Kronk 1, I actually really like him, in one of my old Elementals games. A stupid creature with flimsy arms and legs. Not very good, but again, I'm assuming he evolved. I can't really remember, and I've unfortunately again lost the evolutions of him. But that's the history of Kronk. The next one we've got, it's a classic, a Chaos Galaxy classic in Pelfam. One of the strongest, if not the strongest creature in the entire game, who started off in Little Dude's TCG as Snip Snap. Obviously you can tell the resemblance with the purple body and all the arms. Then he came back in Elemental's TCG as Pelfam himself. He was part of the alien element, which I know isn't really an element, but I just wanted to make alien cards. Pelfam's there. The only difference is he's got a horn in the old one. Like a unicorn Pelfam. But there's one more stage of him. I reverted him back to Snip Snap for when I made my previous TCG, the one straight before Chaos Galaxy, Little Dude's Legends, the sort of rehash. So he's got like, the timeline's sort of split in two. You've got the Snip Snap timeline and the Pelfam timeline. But they are all kind of the same card, so I've just put them together there. Next up, we've got Meltalon, another really powerful card in the Chaos Galaxy, who only featured in one other previous game of mine, which was the Chaos Galaxy, like, prototype version, I guess. It has the exact same ability, so not too much to say about Meltalon's timeline there. The next card we have is Scythesect. This is actually one of my favourite cards in set 1, and it appeared the same name and same look, really, in my old game, Chaos Heroes. Chaos Heroes is a little pretty standard bug guy. Well, he also had like a sort of evolved version of Steck Blade, but that's as far as he goes. Next up, Spark Eye. Another card that actually had an elite version of itself in the Chaos Galaxy. And this is also because he had a sort of evolution journey in an old game, Elementals. So he started off as like Sparky, was the stage 1, who evolves into Spark Eye, the same spelling as the Sparky in the Chaos Galaxy, which evolved into Spark Stir, which I guess would be like Elite Spark Eye, although these kind of have a different look to each other. I like them both, but that's the evolution of them. There was also the Sparky archetype in my game Evolvers, which again started off as Sparky, then Spark Eye, then Spark O. We've got another version, which then evolved into Spark Stir. They also had, I love this card, Spark City, which was like where they all lived. I really, really love this. One of my favourite artworks in this old game. So there's a whole archetype around them. There was also, I'm running out of space here, a Spark of Hope, which was a little card to support them. And so, yeah, lots and lots of Spark cards throughout my TCG journey. But I think it's quite easy to just have a little guy made of Sparks and then just make him into an absolute monster of a card by the end of his evolution. Yeah, maybe I should make a Spark City. I quite often talk about how, like, simplicity is better in cards. Like, obviously this drawing is really two-dimensional. But I just think it works well, this kind of simplicity on a trading card. The image is so small that you don't need much detail, and it gives a lot of personality, so I think that's something to take away from these simpler cards of old games. Next up, another sort of evolution-y one. Got a lot of these today. It's Bogabooga, the main character in the Chaos Galaxy lore. So set 1, he started off as regular Bogabooga, who then evolves into Pointy Bogabooga when he turns evil, and then Lost Bogabooga, and Enlightened Bogabooga is where he ends up. This card, again an archetype in my old Elementals game, just regular Bogabooga. He's an alien card, same as Pelfam, which is interesting because they're the same element, but then in the Chaos Galaxy they're opposites, like one's evil and one's good. These cloud-like things float above the nearest planet to them. However, they hate normal clouds because they are too big, so they don't go near Earth. That is why you never see a Bogabooga when you're out and about. Who then evolved into, again, Pointy Bogabooga. And then Ultimate Bogabooga, we've got here, was the boss card for them. There was also Boggy Boost, which I should probably put in Chaos Galaxy, which lets you play a Bogabooga card straight from your deck, and it gains 300 power and block. I just didn't really know about balancing the rules of games, so a lot of these sort of special cards are just insanely good. Like, playing a card straight from your deck is great. And then we go to little dudes, and there's even more. There's regular Bogabooga, which is just the same Bogabooga as the old ones without a mouth. There's then Pointy Bogabooga, all the same names. Super Bogabooga, and the names kind of go a bit weird here. So we've got different. So there's now like Lost Bogabooga, Ultimate, Super, and Enlightened Bogabooga. But then Ultimate Bogabooga comes back as the boss in Little Dudes. So that's the Bogabooga journey throughout all my TCGs. This is the first time I've had these cards all laid out here, and it's really cool to see. A little Bogabooga journey. I definitely should put a Boggy Boost into the Chaos Galaxy. But then we have another powerful card in set 1. We've got Guster, who is missing. Found him. I'd taken him out of my binder to use him in the current Set Showdown series I'm doing. But there's the original Guster, which removes zones from your opponent's planet. In my old Evolvers game, he gusted cards on your opponent's field back into their hands. So similar sort of ability. And he also did the same thing in, I think, Season 4 of Elementals this was, where he just blows cards back to your opponent's hand. Kind of a similar look that was definitely changed up most for Chaos Galaxy. But he's had a pretty cool evolution. So the next one we have is Zinza. Another card that was only similar to Meltlon. He was only in the prototype version of Chaos Galaxy. And I actually even just used the same artwork. I stole the artwork from the prototype version and put it in the real game's artwork. So that's Zinza. Magmol. Now, Magmol's a weird one because the old version of Magmol was this guy in the prototype version of Chaos Galaxy. They look nothing alike, but if you know your set 2 cards, you'll know that this Magmol is sort of the prototype version for Orbade Commander. These guys look very similar. So Orbade Commander and Magmol have this weird shared timeline where they become the same card in the previous version of Chaos Galaxy. And that's the only time these two guys crop up in older games as well. The next one we have, though, this is a cool one. Viridius the Devourer. Really iconic set 1 card in my opinion. It's weird. I feel weird calling my own cards iconic. It's strange, but he's been in a lot of older games. He was the card Anagana in Elementals. A huge man-eating plant that gobbles up anything that comes near it. Every year it lives, it grows a new row of teeth. That's a pretty cool bit of lore. Could say the same for Viridius. I like that. Well done, 10-year-old Zach. He was then also in this old TCG, which didn't have a name, but it was the first game I made on a computer. It's pretty much the Chaos Galaxy's first prototype version. It was called Naron Mutated Blackthorn. So quite a different name. But a killer plant with razor-sharp tentacles that can grow up to 10 meters long. Each year it lives, it grows a new mouth inside the old one. He was then in the prototype version of Chaos Galaxy with sort of the same look and even like the deepening purple mouth in the middle in the previous version. But I'll put that there because my favourite So do you know what? I'm just going to move these. So we've got that one there. Then there's a gap, and then these two, because my favourite version of Viridius the Devourer is from Little Dudes, which started off as Naron Whitethorn. Little innocent happy flower, which then evolved to Naron Redthorn. Then Naron Bluethorn. Then upgraded again to Naron Blackthorn. And then the ultimate Naron Mega Blackthorn is what you saw become Viridius the Devourer in the Chaos Galaxy. So pretty badass like evolution timeline for him there. And yeah, he's got a really cool set of, you know, different names, different backstories. I really like the way Viridius has evolved over time. And he's always just been like a really powerful card. Next up we got Jellyfished, which just had one previous version, again as Jellyfished in Elementals. And I quite like his ability here, because it's if this card is killed by a creature, that card's power and block becomes 0. So it's like the jellyfish is like stinging him after you kill it. So that's him. We then have Floop, which has had a ton of iterations. So I'll put him at the end of this timeline here. Although it's such a basic card that doesn't really do anything, I've just put in loads of games. So Floop started off as Flower Power in the first season of Elementals that I made when I was like 10. So he goes there. He then got his name Floop in Season 2 of Elementals. He also had an ability that means you draw when he's killed. He then became Floop again in Chaos Heroes. You can see my drawing's getting slightly better. He also had an evolution of Floop de Floop in that game as well. And then he had his sickest form, I think, in Evolvers as the Stage 1 Evolver, Stage 0 Evolver for the Dark Root evolution line. Which then went into Floop de Floop. Then he turned into a tree with Truntle. Then Funky Trunk, the tree Rapper, as the Stage 3 Evolver. Then Trunkster as Stage 4. They keep on going. Then Super Flooper as Stage 5, which I've just put into the Chaos Galaxy as a Set 5 cover card. And then after that, there's even more in Demon Death Trunk as the Stage X Evolver, which was one of the best cards in the whole game. That's Floop's evolution. I'm going to lay these all out. I feel like I could have even... They don't even fit on the screen. I could have even done these as like separate Evolver timelines. There's definitely room for like a whole Floop to Super Flooper timeline and a like tree timeline as well. But that's the evolution of Floop that has just turned into Floop and Super Flooper in present day Chaos Galaxy. And that video is getting long. And I think that'll do it for this video. Some really cool, like, whole proper evolution-y ones there. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This has been really fun to go through. I've been making this series not, like, laying all the cards out at once before I look at them. So you're getting, like, a live reaction of me putting these sort of timelines together. And, yeah, really enjoy doing this series. Got so many more cards that are based on my old TCGs. I think out of this video, my favourite one... I love the Spark Eye whole archetype thing. Same with Boggy Booger, but the Viridius the Devourer timeline has to be my favourite from here. So let me know what your favourite card is from this video. If there's any more cards in my old TCGs that you'd like to see put in the Chaos Galaxy, obviously that's something I can do super easily. So yeah, let me know. And so many more cards in the next episode, like Death, Tonanon and Slush, which have very cool timelines. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to get your hands on any Chaos Galaxy cards, there'll be a link to the online store in the description if you want to support the game and the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.